A decades-old abortion ban law in the spotlight.
Is the 1978 abortion law still valid? Is Public Law 2134 revived and in effect? Not many people would know that. Even the Guam legislature doesn't seem to know what that law is.
Attorney Anita Arreola among the handful of lawyers arguing before justices in the Supreme Court of Guam today. Arreola and the American Civil Liberties Union fought and won to permanently block the law in 1990. The law was never enforced due to Roe v. Wade, which was overturned in June 2022.
We do know that there is an inconsistency and an inherent difficulty of knowing which law applies now. When the chief enforcer, the chief legal officer of the government of Guam is saying that Public Law 2134 is revived and the governor is saying no. And that is an injury because the people of Guam don't know what law applies.
The hearing today was held after Guam's Attorney General Doug Moylan requested the High Court allow a referendum as the law mandates, a vote for the people to decide if abortion should be illegal on the island. Justice Philip Carbolito suggesting the issue should rest with the legislature.
What is before us is power, the power of the legislature, the power of the courts, and the announcement of how that is applied in reference to the language in the Organic Act. It has nothing to do with the issue of abortion.
And this is why I say the process is more important than the issue of abortion. Dobbs created they uprooted the finality that we're discussing here. After 50 years, they says, oops, we were wrong. But as justices are aware, laws on our books have been ever since 1950 and so forth. But I mean, what do you do to respect the judiciary, the legislature at the time that a law was passed when the judiciary has made a mistake? Is it to just say, oops, we made a mistake and try to forget it? Or is it to give the legislature the due regard that the Organic Act said that they did pass a valid law?
Justice John McGlotnia also asking the AG this.
Is there a stay in abortions, or have there been any abortions performed since Dobbs 2022? And I know that, I think in your brief, you says that prosecution will not occur if abortions were conducted. But what is the current state of affairs on the island?
My understanding is all the public laws that are still in effect are being complied with. Whether or not there's been breaches of the law, I'm not clear. The proposal that I had in light of the Dobbs decision was that 20-134 go into effect, and as the prosecuting authority on Guam, I will not prosecute it if the judiciary in its equitable authority were to call the election that was set forth in Public Law 20-134, which either says that we're going to have no abortions on Guam, or the people will decide that it can continue, that law would not go into effect.
Attorney Leslie Travis, the governor's legal counsel, arguing against the AG's move, urging the justices to deny his request.
It's not a zombie law. It cannot be revived in the future when there's a change, because it affects their authority to pass a law in the first place, not just the substance of whether or not the policy decision underlying that.
Attorney Brad Accusman for Robert Klitsky argued the governor is asking the High Court to go back in time and erase a law because the legislator lacks the power to do so. He warned the justices, stating, "Do not get involved, let the politicians fight," while asking the courts to harmonize the case law.
The court should be careful on these. And it's when we're making decisions that will have ramifications in the future that we do not necessarily understand what those ramifications are. And right now there is a parallel proceeding. It's before the Ninth Circuit. It will answer all of these questions.
The question of constitutionality and unconstitutionality is a loaded question. The question about an implied repeal is a loaded question, because those concepts are, for purposes of constitutionality, decided by the judiciary. Nobody knows what is constitutional or unconstitutional when it comes out of the legislature. It's up to the judiciary, after case or controversy and adjudication, to decide what is the law of the land.
The justices took the matter under advisement and plan to issue a written decision soon. Julian Hernandez, KUAM News.